We resume our classes on Genesis and Noah commandment, and we move from bloodshed, Noah bloodshed number 3, to Adam fourth commandment number 4. The 4, which is theft, as we move from Noah to Abraham. So as we learn it, continue reading it, it will be clearer and clearer. So as we read, last time we finished by reading about the rainbow covenant, and the bloodshed law. It was the whole story. Finally, Noah had a revelation. We discussed it in detail, the rainbow covenant, and now the Torah gave us a story about Noah mishap. Looks strange story. How he got drunk, you know the story. He got drunk, he lay down naked on the ground, maybe sexually violated by his grandson, Canaan, although it's not necessarily. Text doesn't show that. He was just lying naked, humiliated by Canaan, the grandson, beloved grandson. And then when he woke up, you learn about it. Well, first of all, Shem and Yefet took their blanket, put the blankets on their shoulder, went backward, and covered the nakedness of the father. So they show how we should honor our parent, regardless of the parent situation. So as he woke up, he cursed Canaan, the famous curse. I read to you, chapter 9:25. He said, "Curse is Canaan, a slave of a slave he will be to his brother." Wow, that verse was misused, as you know, by many, especially here in America. But what was he saying? A slave of a slave, he will be to his brother. Many people wonder, did the Noah generation knew slavery? Probably not. Slavery was introduced later, after the flood. So how come he cursed Canaan as a slave of a slave? Obviously, the story took place much later, after the generations around Noah, his children, grandchildren, degenerated into theft and slavery. It was a curse. Noah saw it as a curse, and he cursed his grandson by being a slave to a slave. So this was attitude of Noah to slavery, a curse. But in the Torah, it comes out as a headline. So the Torah says, here is slavery is in enter history. This is a headline, slavery. Now the Torah says, I'm going to tell you how it happened and how to fight against it. That's how we should look at the story. At the headline, because soon after that, the Torah starts going into detail how slavery was introduced to mankind. So we will read it later on in detail, especially when it went for stages. First, there was the Tower of Babylon, and from the Tower of Babylon came empires. And empires, mankind discovered the art to form an empire. And the sole reason for empire is to assemble large armies, invade other countries, grab the land, grab the men for slavery and forced labor, and you become wealthy and important. The secret of becoming wealthy on account of others was discovered, according to Karen Armstrong, in a book. She wrote a famous book, History of God. And there you can see it in detail. She called that era as from 2500 BC to about 1500 BC. That's the time we talk about, up to Abraham, from about Noah to Abraham. She called it as an era typified by organized theft. The term organized theft that was coined by the scholars is really what we are talking about here. Fit the Torah. What is organized theft? People started in Mesopotamia, Gilgamesh, all the story there. Suddenly people became royal, discovered the art to become royal. What the task of royalty? To head the army and to invade, other countries and to steal, confiscate, to grab land, and slavery. So that's organized theft. Became very popular, according to Karen Armstrong, this area before Abraham. And this led to empires. And it started then, but it continued over entire history. What was Rome about? How did Rome become so powerful, if not on the sword of an army? And many other colonial powers, up to our own era. So that secret of becoming powerful and wealthy on the back of others was discovered at that time. And it's up to our days almost. And this is organized theft. So here is a difference between Noah theft and Abraham theft, Abraham generation theft. Because theft was also conducted in Noah, much before Abraham. Like, if you remember, Tubal-Cain gangs, we discussed them. They robbed the street in Tubal-Cain was his brother-in-law, no brother-in-law. He was from Elohim gang and tribe, and he discovered strong metal that could break any other shield, and they became very powerful militarily, and they robbed and mugged people at home, in the street. As the Midrash says, under this watching sun, there's no shame. But this wasn't on an individual level, on the street, on the gangs, in the home, people home. But here in Abraham time, it is done officially by empires, by countries, by the king, by the royalty. So this is a big, huge deterioration, if you want, on the level of theft that we talk about. By the way, in the Ten Commandments, when it said thou shalt not steal, that's commandment number 8, I believe. It doesn't mean only do not steal, don't embezzle your boss treasure. It means actually, officially, it means do not abduct people for slavery. That's what it means, thou shalt not steal people for slavery. And that comes from here, from the generation of Abraham. So, obviously, right there, at the story of mishap of Noah, the Torah moves very acutely, from bloodshed, from the Rainbow Covenant, to the issue of slave, as he cares, slave for a slave you will be to your brother. So Noah, when he did curse the grandson, slavery was already practiced. And Noah actually lived to see Abraham. He lived long life and he saw Abraham. So obviously he was aware of what's going on with the theft. Now, so let's kind of, before we go into detail of the story, how slavery developed, let's kind of look back and see. It is not incidental that the Torah moves from number 3 to number 4 here. What is this? And later on, the Torah will continue to move from number 4 to number 5. Is Jacob, an injustice, and civil disorder. So what is the Torah telling us? Why is the Torah giving us the whole chain of event story in such a way? What is the secret behind this presentation of the book of Genesis? So, with your permission, let's go back to what we talk about Rosh Hashanah. Remember when we talk about Rosh Hashanah, we talked in Eden, Adam received the 6th commandment, entire 6. Adultery, bloodshed, theft, justice, and blessing. But in Eden, we ask the question, in Eden they could violate only 2. Adultery, if she slept with a serpent, and they could violate idolatry if they rebel and ate the fruit. So why did God give them the entire 6? So we gave the answer that the entire 6 were given on the level of wisdom, just fury, because they have no clue in reality what is bloodshed. Nobody could kill in Eden. Nobody could steal in Eden. Well, it was theoretical, if you wish. But once they ate the fruit and they were driven out, now the 6th commandment address became practical because they're addressing now, each one of them addresses a real challenge in Adam life on earth. Each commandment is addressing our basic psychological build-up. So God in Eden, which was, remember, the God in Eden, the heavenly court in Eden were two cherubs looking at Adam with love. As a couple looking at the child, first child with love. That's the Zohar. Zohar says on this parsha, he called the heavenly court Abba ve'Ima, Father and Ima. So Hashem Elokim in Eden are named here as Abba and Ima. As the two cherubs, one of them has the face of a boy and a girl, looking at each other with love, as Moses depicted them. So this heavenly court in Eden is different from the one we face now on earth. It's more loving, more open to our petitions, accepting us as parents accept the children, even if they sin. And that heavenly court, we said, appears every year on Rosh Hashanah for a limited time, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, in fact, until Sukkot. So this is why Rosh Hashanah is given to us as a period of repentance, because let us use this opportunity to stand on prayer before this kind of heavenly court in Eden, because the opportunity will go away, and then we are facing the regular court, which is much more tough. So this heavenly court who sent, I'm quoting now satanic, so this heavenly court sent down Adam to earth. It gave Adam a mission. I want you to come back to me. Correct your sin, correct yourself, purify yourself from the damage that you've done in Eden. Purify yourself by the damage, from the damage by walking through my commandment. They will help you. And purify yourself so we will come back to me purified as you were before the sin in Eden. That's what the heavenly court of Hashem Elohim wishes us to do. Once we complete the cycle on earth, so to speak, and we purify, we elevate ourselves, we obliterate the damage, correct the damage from our primordial sin, we are back at a level of purity like we were in Eden. Then, from there on, we can proceed safely to the Sabbath. So this is a necessary step for mankind to accomplish before we reach our goal to become very good and get into the Sabbath. That's Fatemet, and that's really what the text really means. So the heavenly court, in his loving mood, knowing human iniquity and passionate desires, gave us those 6 commandments that address, each one addressing one or two or more of those passions and the desire that we have on earth. So, in other words, here on earth, when we wake up, every one of us wake up in the morning, we should realize that today, this day, we should tell ourselves, today I am going to be challenged by idolatry. I may be attracted to worship something else than God. I will be challenged by adultery, because if I don't believe in God, I will surely find myself affair with my secretary, and my family life will be challenged. Integrity of my family and my whole life can be busted in a minute by stumbling over adultery. That happened to us all over the place. Every day we wake up in the morning, and we know that not only 1 and 2 commandments, but also the third one challenge us. The bloodshed, the anger, hatred. Yeah, so we should be aware of it. We should actually write this on the board on the wall. We wake up in the morning, we see, beware, today, we'll be challenged with one of them. And we will be challenged by injustice, theft, injustice, and desecration of God's name, one or the other way. And it's not only in each individual, but mankind. Here comes the story of the book of Genesis. God knew that in our path to purify ourselves, to overcome our desires and to purify ourselves, it's difficult to do it, to overcome all the desire in one place. So he built us in such a way that every generation will stumble over another major fault. One generation will stumble over idolatry, big issue for them. Next generation, adultery, then bloodshed, like Noah, then theft, like in Abraham. And then injustice, like Jacob. So each generation will somehow psychologically be facing over 1 or 2 commandments that will be an issue for that generation. And our task is to recognize them, overcome them, and purify ourselves, because all that is a way, actually a road, the way that God gave us to correct ourselves. And that's how, to give us that message, that explain, that idea is really explaining the whole book of Genesis. Because the book of Genesis shows how each generation stumbled over this predictable path of the 6 commandments of Adam. As if each generation, one commandment become a big major issue, then mankind either overcome it or succumb to it. As the book of Genesis is telling us, mankind always failed. When they failed in bloodshed, in our time, so God sent us Noah, and taught him how Noah himself fought against it. And then Hashem entered the covenant with Noah, telling him how to fight bloodshed in the Rainbow Covenant. Then the next generations, the 10 generations, mankind stumbled over many issues, but a major fault was suddenly popped up as a theft, organized theft, a big failure of mankind, stumbling over a predictable stumbling stone, the theft. So man can stumble on that. Then Hashem sent us in his kindness, if you wish, the soul of Abraham, who fought against theft, and also gave Abraham a new commandment to support his stand, circumcision, support the fight against theft, because he tells us who is the owner of the God, righteous ownership. I'm a slave to God, not to any man. I should be very careful not to steal from anything, because stealing from anyone is like stealing from God. That idea is the core of Abraham's faith. Adonai, Hashem is the owner of everything. Ownership, slavery, circumcision. I'm a slave to God. So here I'm a slave. The very circumcision tells us what Abraham fought against it. Because circumcision is the emblem of the master in our flesh. So here it is. Abraham fought against slavery, against being, again, taking on yourself a master that is not God. Only, I can be a slave only to God. That's Abraham. And lo and behold, mankind continues to stumble now over the next challenge that God in his wisdom put out in psyche, and they stumble about injustice, civil disorder. Here came Jacob and tried to correct it, fought against it. And his name is changed to Israel. Israel stands for against injustice. So it's not true that Israel was born only to spread God faith. To be precise is true, but to be precise, in the Torah terms, Israel or Jacob, when its name was changed to Israel, Israel was born to do what? To fight against lies, against false news, against injustice, and against civil disorder. Yeah, those things typified Israel history more than anything else. Think about it. That's the fate of Israel, even today. The internet is full. Even NPR is talking about how miserable the Hamas people are now. And to cry for the sick people suffering now in Gaza. Not even, I heard him half an hour talking, not a word about what they did to Israel. I would like to see what United States would have done if 3,000 or 5,000 rockets would have been fired all in Los Angeles. I like to see if troops of wild men, evil men, would crush the border of Los Angeles there from Mexico and kill and shoot thousands of people in the street. I would like to see how the United States would respond to that. Here comes the NPR. Very good, 1,500 people died. But look what Israel does, ethnic cleansing. So false news, false presentation, lies. That's the fate of Israel from Jacob, from Jacob's time. And then the Torah move on to number 6, blasphemy. When there is all Joseph, such a family royal family, real royal family, Jacob family, if they sell the brother to slavery in Egypt, it is a blasphemy, the secretion of God's name. You cannot find a secretion of God's name more than that. So you see, the book of Genesis is built up to tell us that not only the individual man and woman are challenged by those commandments of Adam while we live on earth, one by one, every day, but humankind, the generations, are challenged one by one by those commandments. And our task is to identify, to be aware of it. It's a mission. Mankind was sent down from Eden, with a mission to stand the trial of the commandment. You can correct and purify our soul so we can become pure as we were in Eden, and then the loving heavenly court will take us under his wings, and we will move as if from Eden. We can move even from earth straight to the Sabbath if we reach that level of becoming good, very good. So this is what I wanted to share with you at the beginning of the class today, as we move from one commandment to the other, that it is not incidental that suddenly from bloodshed, rainbow covenant, and rapture, suddenly the Torah talk about slavery. A slave to a slave he will be. You need to be blind not to see the connection. How the Torah climbs or describe humanity as stumbling from one commandment to the other. In a very logical, those commandment lists is very logical. We are really built like that. We discuss it many times. It's a cascade. If you violate one, you're immediately challenged by the other. Here it is. That's the book of Genesis. You stumble over one, and then you will stumble over the next one. You stumble over idolatry, and you will err with adultery. You stumble over adultery, you will face bloodshed because somebody will run to you with a knife to kill you because you messed up his wife, or you will try to get rid of her spouse, and so on. This is a common story of our American literature. I was driving from Lafayette to Atlanta for several years. I was practicing in Lafayette and driving to Atlanta, and we put audios to listen while we were driving, and audiobooks. And we listened to so many books, Christians, and so many times we jumped, my wife and me, to see again and again the story repeats itself, as if the author unknowingly actually described the whole plot along this line. These believe in God, people who don't believe, then sexual instinct, then bloodshed, then somebody wants to cover up. The story repeats itself time and again, and we accept it because it's genuine. We believe in it automatically. We are built like that. So how amazing it is that the Torah here is is describing this path in the book of Genesis. Now, the question then, it come up, the question I think we need to address. We are, the topic of, our topic is Noah's 7 commandments. So theoretically, I should have stopped here. We learn about Noah, number 7 commandment, was given to him in the Rainbow Covenant against bloodshed. Fine. So we are through. Noah, 7 commandment. Here, the sign behind me said, 7 commandments of Noah. I should stop here. Why should I go on with Abraham and Jacob? And especially they are now considered Jews, to be Jewish guys. Although they were not really Jewish, but kind of, they are not Noahide, so people think. So why should we continue with the story of Abraham and not finish here with Noah? We are Noahide. And the answer is profound. That's exactly what I want to tell you. That all the commandments that were given after Noah, including the commandment of Noah, were not given in limbo. They're not just God wake up in the morning and gave us another commandment. They were all given in the context of fighting, of supporting a fight against failure, to support our struggle against the failure by facing Adam 6. So humanity is built up to face the challenge by Adam 6 commandment. Each time it failed badly, like in Noah's time or in Abraham's time, God intervened and gave a precious soul that fought against it, gave a commandment to support his stand. To Noah, he gave number 7 commandment to support his fight against bloodshed. Thou shalt not eat blood and not eat a limb torn from a living animal. That's clearly a commandment that doesn't stand on its own. It came to support Noah's fight against bloodshed, which is Adam number 3. And then Abraham, when he fought against organized theft and slavery, and against not improper ownership. He fought against for righteous ownership. The person really own things that he has. Either he produce them or he trade for them, but he should not steal. So the proper ownership. So to support his stand and against slavery, Hashem gave him circumcision. Number 8, one above Noah, 7. So again, you cannot look at circumcision as, wow, we have here a commandment standing by its own, and it's Kabbalah attached this idea to the skin and so on. That's true what Kabbalah says, but the basic of the commandment is to support Abraham's fight against theft, which is 4. So number 8, support 4. As number 7, support 3. And number 9 of Jacob, support his fight for justice. Turn out, and the 10 commandments of Sinai come to support fight against blasphemy, to introduce holiness. So, in that sense, all the commandments, including Sinai 10, are all given not in limbo, but to support our struggle against violating the challenge of Adam 6. It looks like we are born to withstand the attraction of the sixth commandment, to violate them. The same way maybe that Adam was born with a challenge to face, to his father, a challenge to do adultery. So we are born with a challenge, attraction to violate those six. It's very attractive to have an affair. Sometimes it's very attractive to watch the action movies. It's very attractive. So we are attracted to violate number six of Adam, and all the rest of the commandments, number 7, number 8, number 9, including the 10 commandments, all given to support mankind's stance, fight against those six. And once we overcome the attraction of those six, that we are back in Eden. Because in Eden, God gave us the six. Once we overcome the six that He gave us in Eden, it's true, we are back in Eden, in the level of purity of Eden. That's simple as that. And that's Rosh Hashanah. See, you hope it all together. In Rosh Hashanah, the heavenly called ascend back, as it was in the Eden, and our child, Adam, where are you? He continued to ask, Adam, where are you? Like he asked in Eden. Come to me. Have you come to me? Have you made any strive to come to me, to overcome? Where are you in the process? That is done every Rosh Hashanah to every individual. Noahide and Jew work the same. There's no difference. And every Rosh Hashanah, I decide where are we in the level. Is it time to see mankind pure? Oh, of course, we have a long road to walk. So by the few minutes that I have, I thought I would go back to describe Noah. I don't think we need to go into detail